Welcome to yet another episode on our channel. While we try to define comics as a medium with structure and layers, we still haven't talked about its tools. In this episode, we will be addressing this by viewing the tools, beginning with the traditional ones based on their importance. Before we proceed, in no case it is required to buy or use any of the tools mentioned. Some can be replaced with others or by using a computer. Also, any branch mentioned is strictly exemplary and is not meant to promote any product. Of course, if you wish, you may state in the comments below any brands you use in the context of sharing information. Also, one general point of advice regarding your tools. Remember always that the correct use, preservation, and storing will help on a quick and easy access, while it will prolong the use of expectancy, minimizing monetary costs on the long term. Let's begin. The paper is one of the most essential tools for a comic book artist because its surface is the stage in which the artist will imbue his expression. It exists throughout the creative process from the draft form to the final inks, as well as in its published form. Although there are many types of paper of various size and quality, we will be viewing the most usual according to the creative stage involved. In this stage, there is no limitation to which paper we use since it is the preliminary stage in which we try to figure out how to depict our idea on paper. Our paper may be of any quality and size, but in order not to stray far away with examples, let us say that any simple A4 or the analogous, depending on your country, will do just fine. Simply put, in this stage there is no cause for something expensive. A4 papers are easy to find anywhere and are very cheap to buy. Here we have different things. We already have decided from the previous stage what we want, and now we are going to depict it using pencils and inks. For aspiring professional comic book artists that want to work at a publishing house, always ask about which paper format to use since it's not granted to be the same in all continents. A little more regarding the above. For those that do not know, there are international standards that define the size of a paper depending on the continent. Here is a list with some of the most common papers per continent. The thickness of the paper is also important as it helps to improve the toughness of the paper against potential smudging, tear, or deformation during the pencil stage at the cost of our effort. Also, a good paper thickness provides for better uniform ink absorption. Paper thickness is measured in grammars with a good thickness roughly between 120 to 180. Other characteristics involve type of paper such as matte or glossy, bleaching percentage or creation process. In general, take note that some of the above may be more restricting for professionals and not for amateurs. That does not mean, of course, that amateurs don't have any right to try out by themselves. For those interested gaining familiarity with more professional paper, you can search in specialized art stores locally or abroad. Also, there is the option to contact a paper storehouse where they can produce for you your ideal paper depending on your needs. In the final stage, we have the final form of our efforts. The criteria in this stage are split between professional and personal. In the professional, depending on the publishing house you work for, each publishing house has its own standards and processes, as well as printing presses. In no way the creator is involved during this process. If you wish to create printed content, you can theoretically use any type of paper, but if you are interested in having something that looks par on a professional level, you may visit your local print store that deals in special prints. If you properly explain what would you like to the staff, They will surely accommodate you in a serious and professional way. While the paper is the surface that the artist uses, the pencil is the most essential tool that is used. Disregarding the argument about which company makes the best pencils, it's a tool that can be obtained easily in large amounts and at a logical price. The characteristics that we will concentrate and discuss about are whether to use a standard or mechanical pencil, which is okay for both depending on the artist's preferences. A pencil's grading, which comes across different characterization with 9H being the hardest and 9B being the softest respectively. The harder the grading, the less visible will be the line, resulting in easier use of the eraser without smudging or tearing the paper. On the other side of the spectrum, a soft pencil will produce more visible lines, making the use of the eraser a little more difficult. Regarding the best pencil grade to use, the majority prefers between 2B to 2H. Of course, this is not obligatory. Also, depending on the theme, it's not uncommon to use a combination of two or more pencils. The eraser is the tool that helps to erase some of the pencil mistakes done during the flow of our creative process. There are two types of erasers, the soft and the hard. In both cases, there must be white in color as to not leave any traces on the paper. Also, erasers that can erase ink exist, but they are not recommended since their use may cause damage on the paper's surface.